I need to ask you a question. Would your current employer let you drop everything you're doing right now to be able to fly 4,000 miles across the ocean just so you could sit on the couch for a couple hours with your dad or hang out for your mom's birthday? In this episode, I'm going to share a raw reflection from a literally 5-day transatlantic trip that proved why owning your 168 is the ultimate definition of true career optionality. Let's talk about taking control, and here's to getting you to optionality. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
The older you get, you start to realize that life experiences really shape the way that you view the world and what are your priorities. And what used to be a priority when you were probably much younger and had a lot less life experience usually doesn't take as much of a priority today. And things that you thought would never be the case, now they're occupying a lot of your mind. Like I recently just took a 4.5-day trip, I guess 5 days, 4-night trip to the US. And I did it for a reason that most people would be like, what in the world? Actually, I mentioned it to a friend, and that's why this podcast is here for you, because I literally traveled 3,925 miles. I think that is 6,317 kilometers, because I wanted to attend a birthday celebration. Yeah, that was it. And you'll understand why in just a second. But what I started realizing is even during my corporate days and I had a great experience, 26 years. In that 26 years, I had a chance to work, travel 80 some countries, and, living in Europe for 25 years at this point in time across 3 different countries and 4 different cities. I mean, there's been so many different things in my corporate experience at 26 years. The total of it, I really enjoyed. Like most people, I loved having the great titles, and I had titles at local level, and then senior directors at the global level, and even worked globally on a really big project for the board of the company that I used to work for. That 3-letter acronym is the word for large enterprise software company, German, and with a blue background, which is great. But the thing that I started to recognize is, like most things, my kids are getting older. They need me less. My parents are getting older. They may need me more. And I'm also thousands of kilometers away. But let me not digress too much, because I want to get back to this whole traveling for 4 days, and why sometimes you may have done something in your life where people are like, why in the world did you do that? Or how is it that you did that? What made you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Because as you're in your corporate role and you're doing all of these things, you're doing it usually in the beginning because, you want to make more money, and you want to get a bigger title, and you want to have more responsibility. You want to have a bigger team. You want to have the next category of car. Sounds silly, but if you're driving in your car, running on your treadmill, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Been there, done that. But deep down the inside, there is this desire to say, you know what? I kind of want to not have to be on this treadmill all of the time. I would like to be able to use my 168. That's that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That 168, you want to be able to use that secretly in the way that you want to use it the most. And that's really where this kind of what I'm talking to you about on this podcast, where it all ties in. Because the more that I mentioned recently to some friends, and of course I'm here in Barcelona, and I mentioned to a couple of friends, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm flying to the US because it's my mom's birthday. And they're like, what? But your mom's birthday, you're flying for your mother's birthday at your age? My age, not my mom's, because I'm not going to tell you what my mom's age, because I don't want to get in trouble. Mom, if you're listening, I love you, and I'm not going to say it here. So, but the whole thing is I wanted to be able to do that. And I guess probably one of the life lessons, like there are things that constantly change, like even myself, and I've talked about it here publicly, like I've been through divorce, never thought that was going to happen. And for such a long time, I was like, man, this is like such a terrible thing. But I realized one of the biggest benefits, and one of the things that I'm thankful for, is like when my boys are with their mom, then guess what that means for me? Well, I get to use my time in the way that makes the most sense for me. So I am thankful for this opportunity of time, right? And it's a great thing. So what did I decide to do? I wanted to go spend some time, or invest some time, let me say that, with my mom, And as a result, I got to see my brother, I got to see my sister, and I got to see my dad. I got to see my stepmom, my nieces, nephews. It was amazing. All this time that I didn't think I would have. But hey, we got to be thankful for the things we're thankful for, right? And even more than that was the fact that I did not have to ask anybody. I did not have to ask my boss for PTO, personal time off. I did not have to ask for permission to make sure to see if somebody else was going to cover my schedule. I didn't have to ask anybody except myself. Let me say that again. I didn't have to ask anybody except for myself. Of course, there were some things that I had to do logistically. Of course, I needed to get in touch with clients, let them know. But you know what? The great part about the way that I'm serving clients is, number one, they're clients that I would like, that not just would, but meet, know, understand, and they also understand my life. And so it is a way that I feel extremely blessed, thankful, grateful for the clients that I serve. And they understand the life and the lifestyle that I have, where our priorities are, my clients' priorities are, where my priorities are. And it's something that I feel very grateful for. And so after making those communications and talking to my kids, of course, had to do a couple things. Very, very task oriented. Oh, yeah. Had to make sure that I got my flights booked. I can pretty much do that myself. And then when I got stateside, here's the great part about this story. For those 5 days, 4 nights, I was able to see the family members that I talked about. Actually, was even able to see a very dear friend. He and I stopped and had a conversation and a coffee. Even drove my mom to the train station. It was amazing. You know who you are. Shouts out to you. And the thing is, one of the things that I'm the most thankful for is that I had a chance to walk around, talk to my mother. We had car time, which was great. Same thing with my brother. And even the time that I had a chance to sit on the couch with my dad was amazing. We were just watching basketball, talking about life. And what I realized is that these are the moments that are the most precious for me. And I don't have to ask anybody for the time away. I'm so much more in control of that 168, of that time, able to use it in the way that is the most aligned with me and my life, where I can invest the time with the people that I love the most, when I want, where I want. And it just feels great. It's just one of those things. So when I talk to my friends and I tell them, yeah, I'm going 4 days to be able to sit on the couch with my dad, go to my mom's birthday, and be able to see family members, they're like, and it's not, no, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is the life. When I think about my ideal day, this is a part of my ideal day. Right? Have to admit, it doesn't feel the same as it did when I was 20, 25, flying around those 5 years, 58 countries. You've probably heard me tell the story before, but that was the first role that I had right out of college. Now, I could fly all over the place. Could be in Buenos Aires one day, Las Vegas the next, Beijing a week after, and never bother me. But, you know, mother time, she catches up with you. So it takes me a little bit longer nowadays. Jet lag kicks in a little bit more than it did before, but you know what? It's absolutely worth it, because I was able to make it home to mom and dad, brother, sister, nieces, nephews, loved ones. And then I was able to make it back home to my boys, Barcelona. It was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Man, it's amazing what you can do when you actually own more of your time, when you don't have to live in the stress of the constant growth, the constant always on. Doesn't mean I wasn't working. Doesn't mean I wasn't communicating. Of course I was. But it was more under my control. I was in control of my time. I was in control of the resources that were being used, that were coming in, that were going out. Feels different. Definitely feels different. Because that's what it's about at the end of the day. So whether you want to use 4 nights to go and walk across whatever country you live in, or you want to meet friends for a coffee, for a nice dinner, it's okay, especially when you own those moments, when you own that time. I do it again. I look for those moments. Actually, I love looking for those moments where I can share, where I can invest time with loved ones. And it's the thing that makes his life all worth it. So if you've ever heard of anybody who's stressed out, they don't have time, they haven't been able to do something, or you've even gotten to this point where you feel like you're doing something that's completely crazy that nobody else would do it. If you can do it, then why not do it? I invested 4 days, 4 nights, 5 days for a birthday party for mama with my brother and sister. And it was awesome. Got to see dad, hang out on the couch, stepmom, hang out, nieces, nephews. It was awesome. And a good friend. Like I said, this is just a moment of reflection, gratitude. That is what this is all about. When you can do it, invest the time to do it. If that's you, if you struggled, listen to this again. If you know somebody who's going through this kind of struggle, share today's episode, then get over it, talk to them, share, then care, talk to them, have a coffee, have your favorite beverage. I say it all the time, but go from theory to practice. That's what this whole thing is all about. And if you need some help, reach out. I ain't hard to find. Leave a review, find me on LinkedIn. I'm really easy to find. All right. Listen, so other than that, I want you to go out and make it a great day. I want to say thank you very, very much. And we'll be talking soon.